Welcome, Apocalyppians, to the Dr. DC podcast from deep inside the bunker. My name is producer Richard, and across from me, in a hermetically sealed bubble, is the Doctor himself.
Hello.
Each week, we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC from deep inside the wasteland.
Yeah.
While fielding questions from listeners like you.
Yeah. It's coronavirus, baby.
What a fucking week.
It's finally kind of fully, I mean, not in terms of reported cases, but the preventative measures have finally sort of hit even where we live.
Yeah, even
the
most...
the remote north.
Yeah.
Now it's like events are canceled. People are working from home. People have gone nuts at our grocery stores, which is stupid, but they have.
Especially considering
they're making
how
life
many
difficult
grocery
for
stores.
a lot of people, but yeah.
Considering how small our population is and how many grocery stores we have, you really wouldn't think that it could affect it.
There's no need for it, yeah.
No, not at all. And as you'll notice, in a few weeks, we won't be having a live episode any longer.
Yeah, that's true.
The Yukon Comedy Festival had to be canceled.
Yep. Among the fallen of what's been happening right now. I mean, I work at the big art center up here, and everything has been canceled until Easter. At least, I mean, it'll be one of those things that gets like evaluated as we go, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah. Last week, I got my wisdom teeth out. My dog bursted his appendix and got surgery, or not his appendix, his intestines. Got surgery, and I had to cancel a festival that I've been running for 3 years.
Yeah,
that was great. It was a great week last week.
I also had a week.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I had to take my friend to get his wisdom teeth out.
Yeah, how was that for you?
I mean, it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm used to people just assuming
sexually harassing.
I said I'm used to people just assuming I'm gay.
Yeah. Well, it didn't help when I was winking at you. And...
No. It also didn't help that you thought you were being coy, but you were so doped up that you couldn't have been more obvious.
My favorite part though is that
you were working bits.
Yeah.
Under the
absolutely
the influence of the anesthetic.
We went to go get my medicine after that, and I was like making jokes and did not realize that my mouth was covered in blood.
Oh
my
God.
Teeth and mouth.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I didn't tell you that your mouth and teeth were covered in blood, so you kept like open mouth smiling at people, and it looked like you had just eaten someone.
I'm like, why is everybody being so weird to me?
Yeah, you were like a drowsy, stumbly True Blood.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I'm just like Skarsgård. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What a snack. I said after I eaten those people.
But yeah, it's been crazy, and it has now like all of like I said, all those preventative measures have hit up here now. So there's a lot of people self-isolating and things like that.
Welcome to the Thunderdome, baby.
Yeah. Well, really. So. Yeah, I mean, it's just been sort of nuts. And the thing, too, is we're like, other places have like announced, or other carriers and stuff have announced they're like suspending data overages and stuff because people are working from home and blah, 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 and whatever.
I really hope that'll happen here.
Ours has to go through some one extra layer of like government regulation, but they've like applied for it, but it's such a racket.
Oh, did that happen?
Yeah, they applied to the CRTC for it, but
they applied to change their plans essentially. Like, that sounds like bullshit. I mean,
it does, doesn't it? But they've got
especially considering we're the last place in all of Canada that doesn't have like an unlimited internet plan.
Yeah, it's outrageous, and what we pay is outrageous.
Yeah,
but basically the internet up here is like gold.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, absolutely. There's gonna be blood on the streets for a little bit of bandwidth in a few weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So,
well, especially because it was great because everything was getting canceled, and then the internet just stopped working the other day, and I was like, "Oh, this is how anarchy happens. This is how."
That's true too. Yeah, but I think that was because, that was like a line got cut somewhere. But, yeah, but that also happens up here. It wasn't the same.
If the power went out, literally, it would turn it into like the Warriors style.
Oh, yeah, Road Warrior. Yeah, it's true. We're only ever like 1 or 2 bad days away from the road up here.
Especially where we live. Absolutely. Which, I mean, in comparison to all the other people who live here, I think we are probably the least prepared. We're not outdoorsy. No. We don't have any sort of wilderness skills.
No, but I am angry and I have an axe.
And you know how to use martial arts, as our Patreon listeners would know.
That's true, yeah.
So at least those things.
Yeah, so really, you need me.
Yeah. Wow, the tables have really turned.
Yeah. Now who needs who? Huh? Thank you for recording this.
But one of my favorite things that have been happening is the television shows who usually have live audiences, who have been taping without live audiences.
And the sports that are still happening without live audiences. Yeah. I don't know if you saw the thing with, it was like SmackDown or whatever.
No.
So they just recorded SmackDown, put it on TV, but with no audience.
Whoa.
But the thing that I saw, the post was like, watch what happens like when you take the audience out of wrestling. It goes from being this like Yahoo wacky redneck thing to being like the most tense like Beckett play ever, because it's just 2 guys standing in the center holding microphones going, "You betrayed me," and then silence.
Oh my god.
So I'm gonna bring it to the turnbuckle,
because
it becomes this really tense, like drawing room sort of drama.
Weird.
It was sort of outrageous.
Well, I felt so bad for John Oliver because I watched last week tonight, and typically, that show is a lot of jokes per minute.
Yeah, it is.
But they did an episode basically in a black box but it was all white, but they had 0 audience. Like not even the staff was mic'd.
Oh wow.
So it was him telling very funny jokes with 0. No one, yeah. It was the eeriest thing because I've watched Colbert, and Colbert basically the same thing, but he had at least his staff sitting in the audience.
Yeah.
And so they were laughing. And so at least for that, there was some sort of like, oh, that's a joke. But there was things where you don't even realize you're like, oh, that was a joke. Nobody laughed. And so it took me a second to like realize things were jokes.
Yeah, it's crazy, eh? Yeah, it's really wild. The sumo tournament that's on right now, there's no one in the stands.
Yeah.
So you can like hear like all of like their feet like moving on the clay.
Yeah. Like at least
hear them breathing and stuff.
At least with like Conan O'Brien, or with like Stephen Colbert, they've got somebody like sitting next to them who is going to laugh at their jokes. Like I can't imagine having to do that.
Oh yeah.
Imagine trying to do this podcast with only one of us.
I sometimes think about it.
I mean, I could see how it would work with me. I figure it out all the time.
Oh. Yeah, no.
That's right. This is 6 weeks in a row we talk about Batman.
You guys seen The Dark Knight? Yeah. No, it's true. It's pretty crazy. Hopefully, everyone out there is taking care of themselves and being smart and responsible as much as possible. I know some people can't take time off work, and that's bullshit, and that's why we need socialism.
God, imagine if they had podcasts during the Black Plague.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think we'd have a lot more podcasts.
Well, a lot less, actually.
Yeah, the Black Plague took out 1/3 of podcasts.
Yeah. Oh no, all of Stitcher?
Yeah, no, it's just Comedy Bang.
Just comedy?
Well, no, that's taking out 2/3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so hopefully you're all taking care of yourselves. Hey, you know what? If you haven't heard one of your favorite characters of ours in a while, this is a great opportunity to go into the back catalog.
Not too far back.
Listen, not too far back. Careful now.
Yeah.
But listen to some, be like, try and find. Here's a little task for you.
Mm-hmm.
Little fun adventure, little scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
Find the first appearance of Evil Alfred.
Mm-hmm.
Find the first appearance of Cum Man.
Yeah.
Find the first appearance of Cajun Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the first appearance of Shrek Morrison. That's your 4. Go find them. Have some fun with it. Enjoy being shut in.
Here's a hint. It's past eepisode 65.
Yeah. If you've got
100%. Think of episode 65 like episode 1. Like 65 episodes before that never happened.
He's still in after 65.
Really?
He's in a couple of them, but it gets like intermittent. He doesn't die accidentally until 75.
Or here's a fun game. Find the last episode that he's in and how many things I do to try to get him to participate. We had games and like all of these activities.
We were this close to becoming the Chunk.
Yeah.
Find the first appearance of the Chunk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's a fun little podcast skipping game you can play while you're at home. So,
speaking of somebody who didn't skip any episodes, we've got a review.
Hey!
Oh,
hip hop hooray! Hip hop.
Nope. We got a 5-star review, number 73.
It's our 73rd 5-star review.
Good God.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're
almost 3/4 of the way there.
Remember, when we get to 100, we have promised to somehow spend more time away from the other things in our lives.
Hey, I mean, I think the world's telling us that we want, that we need to. Yeah.
Maybe, we should set aside the time now and do it now so that we can release it when it's done.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, when we get to 100 reviews,
what's going to happen is we're going to get quarantined and we're just going to, we're going to make
more content that we know what to do with.
Yeah. It'll happen. You guys could just come live here, and then we'll literally just stay on mic the whole time.
That's right, yeah.
Good God, that's the dream.
Staying on mic the whole time?
No, just that much content.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
When we get to 100 reviews,
we're going
to release a mini-series, Lord of the Rings podcast.
I don't want to be on mic. I just want content, and unfortunately, I have to be on mic to be able to get that.
Oh, right. Do you know? Do you know what I thought of the other day? This was just like by myself in the car. I thought of another spin-off podcast of this one. Could be like Friend of a Friend's podcast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You got to think of a 007 one.
Oh, yeah. Right.
The spy who podded me.
No, it would be like the cast podcast.
Good God. This 5-star review is on iTunes Canada from Will Dirty Bill in this.
Totally normal nickname for someone to have.
I didn't realize my uncle got the internet.
Oh, no. What do you mean got the internet?
Well, I figured, from the basement, it's hard to get bandwidth at, though.
Oh, my God.
I think that's where he lives. That's where I spent most of my time.
Oh, no. What does Dirty Bill say?
Oh, he said a lot of things.
What does this Dirty Bill
I couldn't because my mouth was full.
Jesus Christ.
From Comic Zero to Comic Hero.
I don't want to learn about your life.
I don't want your life. I've been listening for a couple of years now, and as someone who never read comic books or watched anything outside of Batman or the MCU, this podcast has given me a greater appreciation for all things DC. I find myself sharing this newfound knowledge with my friends and girlfriend. Oh, fucking brag much. As if I both friends and girlfriend. Jesus.
Yeah, pick one.
Yeah,
save some for the rest.
Pick a lane.
Shit or get off the pot.
I think that's why I don't have a girlfriend.
Because you keep shitting in all the pots.
Yeah, I know I just won't get off of it. As if I was an expert. They couldn't care less.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Lucky they're still your friend. Yeah. The hosts are funny and engaging. I even liked the first episode. Good God.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
That's a true fan.
I think that's the sign that you've got coronavirus.
If you go back, if you listen to our apocryphal first 4 episodes, you get coronavirus. It's like The Ring. If you listen to the first 4 episodes, then in 7 days you get quarantined.
Oh, see, because I thought they've been looking for a way
Should we be making this many jokes about a thing that's killing people?
If we don't, who will?
All right.
I meant it more of like they haven't been able to find a way to like test if people have it. This is finally the way to do that.
Oh, right.
It's the early warning signs.
Oh, right. Because like in your fever, you think it's a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Got it.
Their Patreon is also a hidden gem, and I highly recommend signing up. Thank you, Doctor and Producer Richard. Thank you so very much.
Aw, thanks, Dirty Bill.
Yeah. I'll see you at the family reunion. That's what he would call it. That's how he got me to go.
No, God.
Yeah.
Jesus. Thank you for the review.
Yeah. I apologize. That's what I also had to say. Now on to the news. We've been talking about it already, but this COVID-19 has affected more than just our general surroundings. But Warner Brothers suspends production of all televised projects.
Not just televised. So yes, The Flash, Batwoman, Supergirl.
Yeah.
All those productions have been halted. Now, a bunch of them should have at least one episode, I would say, mostly in the can.
I would hope as much. I can't imagine they're like us and are literally doing this like the few days before they go out.
Well, no. Yeah. They're like, it's Monday. We should do The Flash comes out tomorrow. We got to film this thing.
Oh, it's fine. It can come out at any time during the day.
I'm kind of busy. I'll do it later.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
My dog had surgery. We're going to wait.
Those are all... the production is halted.
Yeah.
But it also, the Batman has halted production over in Scotland, like the film.
Oh, not just the actual Batman.
Yeah, the Batman halted production on his latest Batmobile. Yeah. But then the film The Batman is also halted production.
Wow. That sucks.
Yeah, so, I mean, but again, especially a thing like a set, if you're working long hours and you're in close quarters with other people and, like all of those things that could, in general, lead to you being sick, right? Like working too much, weird hours, close quarters, having to be in like this suit and people dealing with all that kind of stuff. Like that only gets worse when you have the potential for spreading a pandemic.
It's going to be interesting to see how that affects
Plus,
them.
if there's a ban of, like, in the States now, at least, the ban is, like, on groups of 50 or more. Mm-hmm. Like, visit a film or TV set.
Yeah. It's
there's a lot of people involved. Like, a bunch of those shoots probably don't even qualify under that sort of...
I'm curious to see how sort of on the other side of this, how these movies and TV shows are visually affected. Like, is it going to be like The Wedding Singer when like he has that song and half of it is like super happy and half of it's super aggressive? You're just going to see like post crisis, everything is going to be like on a wasteland. Like I don't know how they're going to explain like all of the missing buildings and things.
Grant Gustin grows out a mustache and they have to CGI the bottom half of his face for the rest of the season.
It's going to be really interesting.
With a TV budget.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but without any of
thought Justice League was bad.
But when all the burnt buildings have burned to the ground, like what are they going to film inside? It's just going to be these sandy wastelands they're going to have to somehow justify in TV series.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they will come back though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. We'll still film just in the wasteland.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Next piece of news. This is a twofer, but we're getting a ton of news about the Sandman out of nowhere.
Oh, really?
So two pieces.
I think I missed this.
First one, Neil Gaiman's The Sandman becomes a new Audible series.
Oh, amazing. Such a good series.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's awesome. Did they say like who's narrating it?
Ooh, that's a very good question.
Is it Neil himself?
Oh, that would be interesting. Oh, that's really interesting. I don't know.
Sandman's a great series. I mean, first of all, if you haven't read it, if you haven't those graphic novels are in any bookstore. You can get them in like a Barnes and Noble or a Chapters or a comic shop or anything like that. They're everywhere. Pick them up. They're amazing.
Yeah, it's there's no news on who's going to voice it or if Sam Keith and Mike Dringenberg are going to be involved.
Now, but I imagine there's going to be adaptation involved because, again, so much of comic book storytelling is visual. That's part of the storytelling. It's not just that the writer writes a script and the artist draws it. You're actually telling part of the story visually. So to move it to a fully audio medium, I imagine it's going to involve much more script than the initial things. It would be more descriptive.
Yeah.
But,
and the next piece of Sandman news is Ruin has come to the Sandman universe.
Wait, what?
That's right. Ruin has come, and he's brought he's brought to DC fans by the creative force of G. Willow Wilson and the Authonauts artist Nick Robles, the creative team behind the upcoming The Dreaming Waking Hours.
Yeah, Ruin is sort of like a kind of an odd character. So I think 90s or early 2000s.
Yeah.
If you've watched the Young Justice cartoon, you will have seen Ruin.
Mm-hmm.
Ruin is in season 2 of Young Justice. And That's a very odd character.
Right?
Very, very strange character. That's cool though to bring them into the Sandman corner of DC though, instead of just, going up against, Batgirl or someone, that's interesting. God, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
That'll make more sense when you listen to our Patreon this week.
Yeah.
Hint.
Ruin is an interesting character from a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view.
So you see, Luke, I wasn't fucking lying to your face from a certain point of view.
Next piece of news, Victor and Nora, a Gotham love story coming this fall. A new YA graphic novel.
Man, these YA ones are really taking off. And actually, I've read a couple of articles lately that's been this has been the quiet, crazy success of DC right now. It's not necessarily getting a ton of press, but these YA things are they've cornered the market on this sort of stuff right now. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, let's get Mr. Freeze in there.
Right?
A very sympathetic villain story and things like that. Yeah.
Maybe it's a love story building up to her for her getting put in the ice block.
Alas, I cannot.
So you've got a wife, right? But she's dead. Don't worry. I'll put her in a block of ice.
He's back, baby.
Iceman Customs.
Amazing. Yeah, very, very cool. Have you read any of these YA ones?
No, I haven't really seen them. They're not really in my sort of purview very often.
I guess I just never check the YA section of the bookstore when I'm in there.
Yeah, I mean, I check out young adults constantly.
Come on.
I'm just never in. They typically don't make it all the way into the bookstore.
No, my God. So dark.
Dark times bring dark jokes. This is what happened.
My God.
New poster released for Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, really?
It's really cool, too. Have you not seen it?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Oh, baby. Just you wait.
I am pumped for that movie. God, when that trailer came out with that cool version of Blue Monday, I was like, yeah, baby.
You can blew my Monday.
How does it feel to treat me like you do? Oh, sorry, I did see that because they also made a motion poster version of it where it looked like it was all
I think that's what it is. I think that's what they're referring to is the motion poster.
Yeah, that is pretty cool, and it's another look at that Golden Eagle armor that we're gonna see her wear in the movie, which is pretty dope. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
a little comic book news: U.S. military will go after Swamp Thing in Giant 4.
Oh yeah, so these giant issue. These are the ones that used to be Walmart exclusive, but are not exclusive anymore. But you can still get them at Walmart's. But so there's new. Each one of them, because they're 100 pages, some of them are existing stories from ongoing series or previous series, and then there's always a new story that's only in those books too.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a Superman book and a Batman book, Teen Titans book and Aquaman book, and now there's also a Swamp Thing one that's going into issue number 4. I like the idea of the hunted monster thing kind of coming back, because that's sort of early days Swamp Thing stuff that you don't necessarily get all the time anymore. But the idea that the military's after him.
Has that ever happened before? Is the military ever?
That's right back to the Moore Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Right where they capture him and then Woodrow cuts him open and realizes that he's not a man at all.
Yeah.
That goes right back to that sort of era of Swamp Thing. So,
yeah.
And the show, because it was drawing on those comics so much, the show was really like that too. So it makes sense to go there, but it's not a thing you get as much in the comics anymore. So I dig that. Yeah,
absolutely. Batwoman introduces the Joker's daughter to the Arrowverse.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. That they have implied, I think, the existence of the Joker's daughter.
How do you feel about this?
I mean, Joker's daughter's a bad character. There's not so many other characters you can do, but I mean, if the idea is that you want to nod to the Joker, you want to nod to the big guy.
Hey, if you got a show with broads, you got to make sure that you only bring in other broads, right?
I mean, there's that too, where it's just bring in the fucking Joker.
Yeah, why?
This was our problem with Gotham, and they had the Joker. Was just call him the we know what you're doing.
No, we
know what you want to do.
No, he's the comedian.
No, he's Jerome.
No, he's the.
No, this one's Jeremiah.
He's the laugh guy.
Yeah. I mean, like, we get it. We know what you want to do.
He sure likes to joke around, though.
Now, do I think that the show should be like leaning on that stuff?
Yeah.
No, not really. But like, do they think they need to do it to help?
I mean, they need to do something, but adding in that fucking character is not the thing to do it.
Batwoman has her own thing. I still say that the show has to go a little more supernatural.
Yeah.
That's when Batwoman comics are awesome. When she's fighting
Dean. Bring in Dean.
When she's fighting.
Get it more supernatural.
Did you see
I did. Yeah. Oh, trust me. Josh Gill and I have been talking about it all the time.
Yeah. Like when she's fighting the cult of crime, when she's fighting Intergang, when she goes up against what was the arc in the New 52? Hydrology. There was like a water ghost. Like Batwoman goes to kind of occulty places in a way that Batman doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's where the show's got to go. You can still have your Tweedledee, Tweedledum. You can still like nod to the other shit in Gotham because that's there too. But like, that's where she's got to live, I think. And I feel like it's a mistake to lean too hard on the big guys' rogues galleries instead of developing hers.
Yeah.
And that's my general perspective on it. But I mean, who knows? It could be a great execution. They could do a great job of it or something. But it's one of those things that just it feels a little bit like, I don't know. It's different than Supergirl because I know Supergirl they used a bunch of Superman villains for her, but it feels different for some reason. I don't have concrete evidence of why, but it doesn't feel like they trust the Batwoman show as much as they trusted Supergirl.
Yeah,
I think is what it feels like.
Absolutely, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, they trusted enough to at least put it on their own network.
Yeah, it's getting a second season. Like, it's not going anywhere.
Didn't do that with Supergirl in the first way.
Well, exactly. They had to save Supergirl.
Yeah, fuck. All right. Last piece of news. Batman 3 Jokers finally gets a release date.
Oh, my God. It's the only thing I've waited longer for than Doomsday Clock.
Well, hashtag sweet release, but yeah.
I mean, yes. I mean, that's
talking about a good execution.
That's constant waiting. Constant waiting.
Focus on the pain.
Oh my God! Oh no. What were we talking about?
3 Jokers?
Oh yeah! Holy shit! So yeah, we've seen like the 3 different Jokers that are the covers. We saw the variant cover that's Batman. So this is Jeff Johns, Jason Fabok. They're picking up on the big crazy reveal from the end of Darkseid War and from DC Rebirth, which was that the Batman, when he was on the Mobius chair, asked it who the Joker was, and the chair told him that there were 3. And he goes, what does that mean? He goes, I don't know. And so now we've just been sitting on that. Darkseid War was 6 years ago?
Yeah.
Like, it was a long time ago. I did not live up here when that issue came out.
That's crazy.
And we're finally, I mean, this series was supposed to come out last year. It was supposed to come out the year before. It was like, it's been forever. We're finally getting it. It's a 3-issue, prestige format, Black Label series. And I'm pumped for this one. I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Hell yeah.
It's supposed to be a little bit of a spiritual successor to The Killing Joke and stuff like that, just sort of thematically, and because it's about the Batman-Joker relationship and things like that.
So who's the artist and the writer?
So Jeff Johns is writing.
Yes, okay.
Jason Fabok, Canadian boy, doing the art. Jason Fabok's run on Justice League with Jeff Johns is also... next to Jorge Jimenez, I would say some of the best that Justice League has ever looked.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's sweet.
Yeah, so pumped.
Finally, they did a Joker thing on Black Label.
Listen, this is the one I wanted, though. All of the other ones that come out, this is the one I wanted.
That's fair.
Finally getting to this guy.
Yeah. Well, speaking of getting to these guys, let's get to the theme.
Right. So you're saying, hey, wasn't this episode supposed to be about Morrison? And the answer is yes, it was. But because of the internet as precious as gold issue that we have,
and the quarantine of it all,
it just made doing our like guest recording stuff too difficult,
a little dicey. So we pushed it.
So yeah, we will get to it. We've got a cool guest lined up for that one. It's going to be awesome, and it's not gone forever, but we couldn't do it this week. So this week What can we pull off last minute? You guessed it. Fanstravaganza VI. The quarantining.
This time it's alone and secluded.
Yeah, the self-isolationing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're doing a bit of a grab bag episode. I went back into our mailbag and I pulled out questions we hadn't gotten to yet. And some of them are silly, and some of them are just cool ones we didn't have time for. And yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into Facebook.
Go to the face and the book. Go to the Facebook.
And starting it off strong because we've only just who's asked, what is the first thing you do with access to the Speed Force? What are the drawbacks? What are the perks?
Ooh. I hesitate to ask you what you do. But I'm trusting you not to make me regret this.
I feel like we've answered this question before.
I think we've answered similar types of questions, like what would we do if we got to be a superhero for a day?
But I feel like we've done this because my answer is always the same, which is do more things.
Well, yes, right. With the Speed Force, what you want to do is just more of what you do. You want to take on more jobs.
Yeah.
You want to start more businesses.
Yeah.
You want to finish
Can I
finish more tasks?
Let me tell you something super
You're
honest.
the most boring person on the planet.
I'll tell you a super honest moment I had. I think it was yesterday.
Okay.
So in the sort of the cold shadow of canceling the comedy festival, I was taking a shower yesterday, and my first thought that popped in my head that morning was, well, I got time to do something else.
I mean, it's just so opposite of how I feel sometimes. I mean, sometimes I'm motivated to work on something, or certain things rather. But I'm never just motivated to work. It's got to be like, oh, this thing has triggered that in me, or that thing has triggered that. You're just motivated to work. Almost doesn't matter on what.
Like at the beginning of this week when I got my wisdom teeth out. I got to fill that hole, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you say I've got to fill that hole,
Your Honor,
and well, I was gonna say in the context of like any sort of honest conversation, that just sounds crushingly sad.
Well, yeah, that's the honest truth.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
right, understood. Yeah,
Gotcha. There's an event-shaped hole in my heart, and
I found the Balrog. I dug too deep.
There's a father-shaped hole in my heart, and I fill it full of things to do.
Oh no!
I legitimately was just like, well, what am I going to do with my time?
Okay, so, but that's your honest answer then. So if you had the Speed Force, you'd be like, finally, this is my opportunity to get done all of the infinite things I want to get done, but couldn't with my frail human. Stuck in the regular flow of time.
Yeah, that's the biggest drawback for me with regular life is that there's not enough time in the day.
Right.
And that I have to sleep.
I mean, the biggest drawback
eat.
for me in regular life is that there's too much time in the day.
I guess the drawback for this would be that there's no way to satiate the beast, and it's a never-ending hole.
I think you would have the issue of, especially if you were like a really good Flash, like Wally, like crazy powerful.
Yeah,
you would finish everything and then still have to live a life.
Oh, friend, there's always more to do.
I think you would actually get to the end of tasks.
What I got to figure out is can I get myself to talk faster,
you do so much, and you wouldn't be able to slow yourself down. You would just sublimate into the Speed Force because you would just like become pure energy.
But then then
nothing would get done.
Yeah, but then I could help a bunch of other people get things done. Multiple people are getting multiple things done.
Right, and
once.
then as the Speed Force, you would make lightning hit a bunch of people.
Yeah, there it is.
I see.
Hell yeah, ultimate control. I mean,
this is starting to sound like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
If you do well enough, then eventually you become your own Speed Force. You get to open your own Speed Force in a different city.
All I'm saying, Doc, is that if you got access to my Speed Force, you could get so much more done.
Did we just start multi-level Speed Forcing?
Just get your family and friends into the Speed Force. And,
for every person you bring into the Speed Force, your Speed Force ability increases, and you get closer and closer to sublimating and opening your own Speed Force.
Yeah, we got this new Millennium Falcon-shaped Speed Force for you. It's going to be great. The kids will love it.
Wow. Okay. I mean,
it's pumpkin spice Speed Force.
This is, I think, maybe the saddest answer to a question about having a superpower.
Coming from me, that's saying something.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you?
What the first thing that I do if I have the Speed Force? I think I would want to start like testing the
run as fast into a wall as you possibly can.
I mean, yes, but that's not but not the way that you mean it.
Oh.
I was going to say I would want to test out like the ancillary flash powers, like phasing, and you know,
kill yourself instantly because you're just like these things exist, but like literally have no idea how to use your powers.
Well, I suppose that maybe it's not the first thing.
But again,
yeah, that's a good point.
Then hashtag Sweet Release. It seems like you win either way.
Interesting.
Never mind. I'll take back what I said.
I mean, that's a short comic book. He got a power on page 3 and he killed himself on page 7.
Barry Allen was a very sad boy. Then he got to Speed Force.
14 pages.
And he ended his life. There truly is a gold pot at the end of that rainbow.
Yeah, no, I think I would mess with the like ancillary powers. Like
what's the one that's like, the coolest to you, that you would be the most excited to try first?
I think the idea of like the speeding up your brain.
So of course.
Now you don't remember
so many comic books you could read.
But you can't remember things.
Oh god.
Right?
That sounds like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
Now you can read all of the books so fast, but you can't remember any.
It's like Phenomenon, but you just lose the ability. You could do it again.
Yeah.
Like I could read, like quickly learn Portuguese, use Portuguese for what I need it for, and then I'd forget it. And then if I had to use it again, I would just learn Portuguese again.
Yeah, you just happen to have a tumor. But
if it was Phenomenon rules, yes, I would have a tumor.
What's exciting though is that you could find like the best written material and be able to constantly read it for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's an element of that too. I do like revisiting things.
I know. I mean, that's one of the things you like literally live by.
Oh, interesting. This could really step up my creature of habit game. You know, the Speed Force is pretty cool when you think about it.
Why don't you join up?
Yeah. I mean, there's also, I'm skipping over like traveling between dimensions and parallel Earths. And
I guess those things are kind of cool too.
Which is pretty cool. Time travel, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you could go back and then read things for the first time again.
I think the speeding up your mind, the speed learning thing is the thing I find most interesting. Yeah.
Fucking dork.
I know what I am.
Oh, that's good. I'm trying to figure that out. All right, let's go to the next question. Josh Gill.
Gill.
Oh, sexy ass Gill.
Easy. Come on. Come on now.
Fill me to the gills.
Gill to the brim. I'm disappointed nobody has submitted like a nice graphic of Josh Hub so we can make a t-shirt.
Or at least content you'd find there. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Just some tentacle Josh.
Oh no. Some tentagill Josh.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
Yeah, baby.
That's it for the Dr. DC podcast. We'll see you next week. Josh asks, what was a bigger injustice to Wally? Barry coming back in Flash Rebirth or DC attempting to reimagine him for the New 52? To be clear, I'm not saying Wallace is a bad character, just DC's attempt to reimagine Wally as Wallace before course correcting with Rebirth and bringing OG Wally back.
Right. So what we're talking about here is when we were introduced to Wally in the New 52, we were introduced to who is now known as Wallace West.
Yes.
Who is currently Kid Flash. It's Barry's other nephew. Who is black? It's what the show is now based on, and that kind of stuff. But when they introduced him, like his personality was different from the original Wally West. It wasn't just that they changed, that they like race swapped or stuff like that. Now, part of that I think makes sense because I think you could make the argument that it's more racist to just race swap and just treat them like nothing was different about them. But I think people that loved Wally and missed him from the New 52, it had been years before we even got introduced to this other Wally, were like, but that's not my Wally. And they were upset about that, and that's totally fair, because Wally spent like 20 years as the Flash. He is the Flash for people. So I can understand the frustration, and I kind of get that. Now both exist. We have Wally West in like the pre-Flashpoint Wally West, who has now returned from the Speed Force, and then we also have Wallace West, who is Kid Flash. Now, what is the biggest injustice to Wally West? I actually think the biggest injustice to Wally West has nothing to do with Wallace. That was them trying something. People didn't take to it. They gave them what they wanted. The bigger injustice for Wally was that when he was back, that people were like, what do we do with him? It's like, well, what if we killed him? And then they were like, okay, no, bring him back. And then they were like, okay, well, what if we made it so he had a heart condition and he couldn't use his speed? And it's like, oh, okay, well, what if we killed him? No, wait, he killed him. No, wait, he killed everyone. And then it was,
yeah.
Now, currently, spoiler alert, where are we sitting with the OG Wally West? We've gone through all of the things I just said. Wally is now sitting on the Mobius chair. So he has all of the knowledge of the multiverse.
Okay.
But the Mobius chair itself has been imbued with the remnants of the power of Dr. Manhattan. So now Wally West is the most powerful Speed Force user sitting on the repository of all knowledge with the power of Dr. Manhattan.
What could go wrong?
He's God, basically.
Yeah.
Wally West has become God. Now, here's the interesting bit. They were going to use this to kick off this 5G thing. That this was one of the stories in Flash 750.
Yeah.
Was him being like, oh, something's still wrong with the timeline. I'm going to fix it now. But the June solicitations, it looks like those generation books aren't in there anymore. So maybe 5G isn't happening anymore.
Oh.
So I don't know what the fuck you do with Wally if you don't use it for that. You don't use it for that.
Well, that's...
Because now he's like God powerful. I have no idea how you use Wally now. Other than maybe you find a way to fold him into Death Metal, which is the event for this summer. That is the sequel to Dark Knight's Metal. And hopefully the culmination of this Dark Multiverse stuff.
Wow.
So if you fold him into that, I could see it being useful. But I think the biggest crime against the OG Wally West is just no one has known what to do with him. They finally brought him back and people were like, great. And then they were like, I don't know. I'm out of ideas. So that's the craziest bit. I mean, there's been some work done in recent months to try and give him back his family and like all these things he had lost from pre-Flashpoint.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what you do with him, though. I don't know that I've got a good answer for it, given where he is right now. I probably wouldn't have made him a god, because that feels like...
a poor choice?
Well, now it's like, now what do you do with him? That's even harder now, yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
But,
like, Dr. Wally... Mobius chair showing up in fucking Death Metal and just like evaporating the fucking Batman cool. Who laughs, I'd be like, yeah,
hell
baby.
Yeah, that would be fucking cool. That's awesome.
I'm into.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, let's leave Facebook and head on over to Twitter.
Twitter.
First question comes from Batter Bally.
Batter Bally?
Yeah, Batter Bally.
All right. Is that the Cash Me Outside girl?
No, it's just a less good fitness place.
Batter Bally?
Yeah.
Where do you work out? I'm Batter Bally.
Oh, I go to
I
go to Bally's Total Fitness. Where do you go? I go to Batter Bally.
I go to Batter Bally.
Which version of Morgan Edge do you prefer? Pre-crisis, morally ambiguous, Edge, or post-crisis, evil businessman Edge?
Right. So Morgan Edge is a character who, as this question implies, pre-crisis was a basically like this sort of capitalist tycoon who ran the Galaxy Broadcasting Network, which is not like a galactic broadcasting thing. It's just the name of a broadcasting network on Earth. And they bought the Daily Planet. And so they used it for stories where he was like this interfering sort of capitalist guy. And Perry was like, that's not what journalism is. And like stuff like that. But he was ultimately a good guy. He was misguided and he valued profit over other things, but he still...
Just because you are a bad guy doesn't mean you are bad guy.
Yeah, exactly. But he had a relationship with Clark and with Perry, and he was ultimately like, he wasn't evil. He was just, he didn't understand, right? He's from a different world.
From a different time.
different world.
Where you come. It's
a
a different world.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We went to very different places.
We did. We tend to.
Post-crisis, they made him basically part of Intergang, which is... Yeah.
From the Intergang.
Intergang, scram!
Do-do-do.
When you're a gang,
You're a gang all the way.
Intergang is like a global crime syndicate that is sort of backed by the forces of apocalypse. Jesus. So they get like apocalyptic fourth world tech, but then they are a gang, like organized crime, basically. Intergang is so they've got all this kind of crazy future tech and alien tech and stuff like that. So pre-crisis, the good Morgan Edge was, I think, once accused of being part of Intergang, and then it was found that he wasn't. Yeah. Post-crisis, they were like, but what if he was? So they just made him evil, that he was part of Intergang, and then he also was this sort of tycoon. He was like buying the Daily Planet to like quash stories and like all that kind of stuff, right? So Morgan Edge post-crisis became a bad guy. He basically...
Well, he's not bad guy.
Just because you're a bad guy doesn't mean, I mean, in this case, it does mean I am bad guy, but not necessarily. But this case, yes, very much bad guy.
Absolutely. Do bad things, bad guy, but I mean, it could be otherwise.
Is it clear? So which do I prefer? I mean, as much as maybe it feels like the easy way to just make an evil capitalist, it's definitely more interesting when he's part of Intergang.
Well, it's so super interesting because how often do you get an evil capitalist?
Well, yeah. I mean, they're so rare. There's so few real world examples.
But that's what makes it so interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such like a against type.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's about as against type as Woody Harrelson playing a stoner, I would say.
Yeah, or Quentin Tarantino playing a shoe salesman.
No shame if that's what you're into. I just find Quentin disturbing.
Yes,
he disturbs me
absolutely. Yeah, no, give me those sexy little touches.
Yeah, I think I prefer the post-crisis Morgan Edge, where he's a bad guy and he's part of Intergang and sort of duplicitous and things like that. He's not like because he's also not like a genius. He's not like Lex Luthor. He's just like a guy, evil, wealthy, working for Darkseid.
Yeah.
Which is sort of interesting. He's sort of like a middleman. He makes me think of like...
I love evil middle management. Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the bad guy in Rogue One, Krennic.
Yeah.
Yeah, evil middle management, right? Yeah. He's not the guy. He's not even the guy's guy. He's further down.
Yeah.
I kind of love that. And there's something about that that's sort of interesting to me. So, yeah.
Attack them. Let me just send it up to corporate first.
Yeah. I'm not authorized to okay this attack. My boss really should sign off on this.
Hold on, let me refer to the manual.
Yeah. I've actually never sanctioned an attack before.
This type of attack isn't actually in the franchise model.
Normally this is a different department.
That's more of an HR question.
Like our sniveling evil middleman. Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from our favorite religious representative, Chris Chan. Christian. Who asks, do you prefer hard, soft, or no reboots?
Oh, reboots.
Steel Toed or Vibram Souls, Bob or Enzo?
Right. So, we're doing a lot of reboot jokes here.
First of all, Bob.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, Bob's fucking the man.
Enzo, man. Daddy thick.
Well, I mean, yeah. I just thought he was cool.
Enzo, when he like grows up, he's got the cool like...
Oh, I mixed the two up. Sorry.
Cool target eye and stuff.
I thought that was Bob.
No, Bob is the guardian that Megabyte launches into the web, and then Enzo tries to protect Mainframe, right. And then he has to become a game sprite because he's about to lose the game.
Okay, yeah, Enzo's the fucking man.
Yeah, it's Enzo, man.
It's been a while. It's been a
while. Do you know who I always thought back in the day would play a good Enzo if he bulked up a bit? Jonathan Frakes.
Oh.
If Jonathan Frakes was like built more.
Yeah.
I could like I feel like the look of adult Enzo was a little bit like, what if Riker killed a man?
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Jason Momoa could do it now?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, but then who's Bob?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
I think Bob has to be like someone prettier.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Chris Evans type.
Yeah.
Someone pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
So
yeah.
who's Megabyte?
Andre
Brower.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say what's his name? Charles Dance, the Tywin Lannister.
Oh. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's
and then you
nice.
give me Kate Blanchett as Hexadecimal.
And you're
Let's
set.
get this reboot
Hell
going.
yeah.
Okay, so we've answered the final question there. What do you prefer in terms of comic books? A hard reboot where you just start over, a soft reboot, sort of like DC Rebirth, where they're like, we'll figure out what things are canon as we go.
I mean, DC's never done a hard reboot in its life. But,
New 52 was the closest they ever
and it
got.
still wasn't.
And it still wasn't.
Yeah.
Me,
I personally prefer hard reboots because I'm like, hey, that way the thing that existed before can never get tainted because it still exists and it's still there.
Right.
So the new thing can be its own thing and it can live on its own merits and doesn't have to sort of abide by anything that the previous thing did.
Right.
So it can take some of the sort of ideas and make something different with it.
Yeah.
The problem with these soft ones is that you never really know where the guardrails are.
I think I prefer the soft one though, because it's like, I don't think I need to know specifically like, oh no, actually like in January is when the Penguin took the bank hostage.
Yeah, but if you wanted to know,
I could give a shit when it happened. I just want to know like, I'm sure it happened. And then if the reboot changes, I don't need someone to say definitively Penguin did not rob the bank in January. I just assume he probably robbed the bank. It doesn't really matter when.
Yeah.
I just assume it happened. I think I'm definitely more of a soft reboot guy. I think I've made that clear through other things too.
Yeah.
Like I've got an opinion about it.
You got an opinion about
Now,
that?
the third option there was no reboots.
No, I like trying to look at something in a new
Yeah.
perspective. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think I would be okay.
No
with-
reboots, no women in comics. Keep everything white. Let's just stick with the way we had it.
Oh my, Richard,
I'm sorry, I blacked out.
you've been drinking truth serum.
Well, how else am I supposed to know what the facts are?
That's not how truth serum works. It doesn't tell you what is objectively true.
Oh.
It's not the fucking lasso.
Well,
Also, the lasso
I bought it from
doesn't work
AlexJones.com. I figured that was.
that way. Even the lasso doesn't work that way.
No, I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Yikes.
And then
Reboot.
What was the shoe one?
Oh, Steel Toed or Vibram Souls?
What's a Vibram Soul?
I don't know.
I'm not athletic enough to know what that means.
Me either.
I'm gonna say steel toe because you could do some serious damage.
I'm going to say Vibram Souls makes me sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Sure, yeah.
Just cut out the part where I didn't.
Yeah.
All right, let's move forward.
All right.
Fuck me.
That
Shit.
can't be a question.
I mean, it is, but
It's from
not
the
for
real
you.
Josh Gill.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Raging G, you fucking incel cuck. Raging G, I love my Tonka truck.
Sorry, the badass thing about him is that he's an incel cuck. He's playing with Tonka trucks while someone else fucks his wife.
Yeah, like a true alpha.
Jesus Christ. These fucking drops.
What happens when I come up with something that I've got to be unique every single time?
You had to add in more syllables to squeeze the fucking in there.
Yeah.
You fucking
Incel
incel cuck.
cuck. It still worked. Raging G asks, is Barry Allen the Flash the fastest man alive? Which is interesting because I think the answer is depends when you're asking. When and where you're asking.
Right. If you are asking, is Barry Allen the fastest man alive when no one else is the Flash?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're asking when it's only him and Jay Garrick, yes. If you're asking before Wally came back from the Speed Force, still not really.
Yeah.
Because
He's still alive.
Godspeed was faster than him for a little bit. And then, I mean, not anymore. They did put out a definitive speed chart for some characters, not all.
Yeah.
But the short answer is no, he is not.
No. Even on the TV show, I don't think he is.
No, I mean, Barry on the TV show has only been the fastest man alive in, I'd say, 8 episodes.
Yeah. To the point where they stopped saying it at the beginning of the show.
They were like, this is a bill of goods that we can't sell.
Who are we kidding?
Yeah. So no. And according to DC's definitive speed chart, no. Wally is.
Yeah.
Even according to the show now, the most recent episode had Wally on it. Wally's definitely
fucking incense. Wally is definitely
way better Flash than Barry.
Yeah.
But Wally is faster now in the comics and differently, but similarly on the show.
Yeah.
It's because Wally is more spiritually connected to the Speed Force. Now, in the real world, Speed Force was never part of the original Barry Allen Flash comics. He was just fast.
Yeah.
The Speed Force was a creation from the era when Wally was the Flash. But in continuity, Wally is more spiritually connected to the Speed Force. He does things through feeling. Barry is analytical. He's got a sciencey brain. He's a CSI.
But he's also he's
always been emotionally disconnected from it. He is analyzing the Speed Force. He is applying knowledge to know how to use it, but Wally lets it flow through him, like the Force, or
I think Barry has a child-parent relationship with the with the Speed Force.
I mean, a little bit, but it's
especially on the show.
It's just yes, definitely on the show.
Yeah,
but it's very much a thing where it's that idea of what makes the best Jedi.
Yeah.
You have to submit yourself to the Force.
Yeah,
if you're trying to think about it, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Stop fighting it. Just give yourself up.
Exactly. Wally.
Josh.
Oh, Jesus. Wally goes by feeling.
Yeah.
So he taps into more of the power. He has more powers than Barry has.
Yeah.
And his powers are greater than Barry's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it answers that question.
Yeah.
Looking inside.
A lot of Flash questions.
I know. Well, I that was actually, I had to move the questions around because you literally had 3 in a row. Let's leave Twitter.
Dare you change what I prepare for you?
Look, do you want to do this right now?
I never want to do this. I'm talking about the podcast.
But we need content, so got no choice.
Yeah.
Also, we can't leave the house now. So.
Yeah, we can't get out of this prison.
They've actually said no more groups of 2 or more. So we literally can't even leave the room because there's other people in the house.
Oh my God. But good news for you guys, there's an episode coming out every day this week.
Every single day. Non-stop content. Bring in the money.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's how it works. Let's leave Twitter and head on over to Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram. Take some questions and answer them.
First question comes from ABC.
Brooks.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3.
Brooks.
Easy as do, re, mi.
Brooks.
1, 2, 3.
Brooks.
ABC.
Brooks.
Baby, do you and me? Brooks.
Brooks.
Brooks. Brooks. Brooks. Brooks. Brooks. Brooks. Brooks. Brooks.
You know what I forgot about was the last time we did this and we started doing other MJ songs.
Yeah. Brooks.
You've been Brooks by AB. You've been Brooks by Brooks. See, a smooth ABC Brooks.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, God.
ABC Brooks asks, Battle of the Telepaths. Could Gorilla Grodd or any of the other DC telepaths ever defeat the Martian Manhunter?
Well, okay, let's start with the one that's in the question.
Yeah.
Can Grodd beat Martian Manhunter?
I mean, here's the thing. It depends on the version of Grodd I guess I'm looking at, because there's versions of Grodd that are more powerful than I would say Martian Manhunter is. I think he's Martian Manhunter 1 doesn't use his powers as much as Gorilla Grodd does. He basically survives off of them.
Sure, yeah.
I feel like there's versions of Gorilla Grodd that are so intelligent, and there's versions of it that are just like a very smart ape.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'd be tempted to say that as powerful as Grodd is and has been, Martian Manhunter would beat him.
Also, does Grodd have access to tools that are going to expand those abilities as well?
Right. Well, yeah, that's fair. He sometimes wears like the crown. And stuff. Yeah. I'm tempted to say Martian Manhunter could beat Grodd on his best day.
Does Martian Manhunter have the ability to like get people to do things with his like?
He can do anything.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Martian Manhunter is Superman level powerful, but with more powers.
Yeah.
So I would say no to Grodd, but there are other telepaths.
Oh yeah.
So ones that we've talked about, even from recently, we did a telepaths episode. So Simon,
he likes to do draw rings.
Boo. Simon, I would say no.
Yeah.
More of a Teen Titans level kind of character. Saturn Girl, I think pretty powerful from the Legion of Superheroes. Could probably give him a bit of a run for his money. She's Saturnian, and if we follow my sort of headcanon, she must be somewhat connected to the 21st century Saturnians, who also had telepathic powers, like Gem, son of Saturn, who are themselves a cloned subspecies of Martians.
Good God.
So, if we assume that the powers are connected somehow genetically, she's probably got the best shot.
Mm-hmm.
She may not be as powerful as him, but she's probably one comes closest. Despero, Martian Manhunter's arch enemy, if you can say that he has one, is physically stronger than him and telepathically pretty damn strong. I think Despero is probably the one that could actually defeat him.
Yeah.
I mean, Martian Manhunter always ends up beating him, but in the way that a hero always ends up beating the villain. But if you're really talking about like how that fight goes, it's always harder for John when he's fighting Despero.
Yeah.
Beyond that, a lot of the telepaths are way lower level than John is, right? Like Omen, Queen Bee, like
there's definitely a lot of them.
There's a lot of lower level telepaths that maybe are good up against the teams they fight. Like if you fight the Titans, or if you fight the Titans without Miss Martian on the team, or stuff like that. Miss Martian actually. Miss Martian could do it. I think I've gone on record saying Miss Martian is more powerful than John. So she could.
Wow.
And then, her, then Despero, then Saturn Girl. That's my power rankings, I think, of people that stand a chance.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the next question, which comes from Stump Chunkman.
Step into the stump. Stump Chunkman. Blah!
You're on with the Chunk.
103.7. The Chunk.
Welcome to the show.
Now with Michael McDonald.
Michael McDonald's gonna...
What's gonna happen? Throwing up the greatest hits of the 70s and 80s.
Hurling the best sounds that you've ever heard.
If you're gonna spew into this traffic and weather on the twos.
I don't feel good. I'm gonna puke.
103.7, The Chunk.
The Chunk. Michael, why?
Just a fucking vomit-themed radio station.
Aren't they all?
All the themes were taken.
I mean, you listen to like modern music, aren't they all? Hot take.
Yeah. Hey, at least we aren't like 106.9 Hot Snakes.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Oh, my ass! Welcome to 106 Hot Snakes.
106.9 Hot Snakes. That's
the hottest hits streaming all day long.
I shouldn't have had the chili. 106.9, 106.9, 106.9. Hot Snakes.
Take that, Michael.
That's where Jake went.
Yeah.
Jake went to Hot Snakes. Oh, the evolving like rift between Jake and Michael McDonald is one of my favorite things.
Who knew? Yeah. Choose your side now.
Yeah. Yeah. Hashtag the Chunk or hashtag Hot Snakes.
Let us know if you want shirt designs with us.
Hot Snake's shirt only comes in brown.
No, red.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So what does Stump ask?
Is it true Riddler can turn into a question mark?
I don't know if it's the placebo effect, but reading this question, I am convinced that I have seen something wacky from the Silver Age or in a cartoon where this is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be damned if I could find it.
What's the dot?
I scoured online today because I was like, I swear to God, there's an issue where he does something stupid like this.
Yeah.
And I could not find it. I couldn't find an issue. I couldn't find a clip. I couldn't find anything. But I don't know if it's just because I read the question, I thought it was silly, and now I've convinced myself that it's real. But I swear to God, I thought this was a thing.
It's a Berenstein thing.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have to say, no, he can't turn himself into a question mark. Other than like just being somewhat, if you like Jim Carrey, kind of sort of flexible. But I mean, like, you can't literally make his body into that shape.
I also just don't know what's the dot.
Well, that's
big pile of shit.
That's the Hot Snakes.
I'm glad we went to the same place.
But for some reason, it is in my head that I should have been able to find something.
Weird.
So if anyone out there has like a Silver Age issue,
where did you get this question
from? There's like a cartoon or anything where the Riddler turns into a question mark, please send it, because I was driving myself nuts today. I could not find anything, and I was convinced that I should be able to.
Yeah, did you ask him about it?
No. Because I wanted to get to this point and then say I didn't have an answer.
Oh, I'm glad you waited to get onto the mic to say you don't know. That's good.
Well, yeah, you keep telling me it doesn't count if it's not content.
I also tell you it doesn't count if the mics aren't running.
What?
Huh?
Are these not running? We wasted all that good good radio bit.
I wouldn't have done that. All right. Oh, fuck. Again. We have no precedent for this. It's ABC.
Brooks.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3.
Brooks.
It's easy as do, re, mi.
Brooks.
1, 2, 3.
Brooks.
Baby, you and me, Brooks.
Brooks. Brooks.
I'm talking about the Brooks in the mirror.
ABC. I'm Brooks in him to Brooks is Brooks.
You're Brooks, Chamona.
That's because I'm Brooks. I'm Brooks.
Chamona. ABC Brooks ain't my lover.
Cause it's Brooks. ABC Brooks.
Doesn't matter if you're ABC, if you're Brooks.
ABC Brooks.
Brooks. ABC Brooks. ABC Brooks.
The River Jordan, that one.
ABC Brooks. Brooks. ABC Brooks.
Goes over to Janet Jackson. Every Brooks at Brooks. ABC is Brooks. And the Brooks has Brooks. ABC is Brooks. This is our first episode that is heavier on drops than on questions or answers.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's just ABC Brooks. All right. ABC Brooks asks this time, what is your favorite appearance of the Lord of Order or the Lords of Order / Chaos outside of comics?
Outside of comics. There have been some appearances of characters like Dr. Fate in other things.
Oh, Dr. Fate.
Call me Dr. Fate.
Dr. Fate.
Dr. Chaos, Dr. Chaos. So Dr. Fate, for example, showed up on Smallville in out of shape in an ill-fitted costume. Dr. Fate.
Sounds like you on Halloween.
I mean, that's literally what that Dr. Fate looks like. If I dressed up like Dr. Fate, I could have been on Smallville.
I mean,
that's not a slight against
I've seen
the
with your
actor.
pants off every day.
The actor got cast, and they cast someone older, and they went for it like a thing. It's not a slight on him, but like
you missed my good joke.
Oh, you had a good joke?
Yeah, I said.
Well, no wonder I missed it.
That's applicable to my joke.
Okay.
I said I've seen you with your pants off every day at Smallville. It's normal.
If I were uncircumcised, I could call it the helmet of fate. I call it hooded justice.
I call it the red hood.
Oh
no!
Because you have to wash it.
Oh, somebody should have told me. Now it's the green hood.
Oh no!
It's okay. It's falling off. That's how you get circumcised.
I've completely forgotten what the question is. Oh, right. Lords of Order and Chaos.
Yeah.
So that's an example of like Dr. Fate showing up. We've seen him in different cartoons. The Dr. Fate in the Justice League Unlimited cartoon is pretty cool. Very sort of Zen, spiritual, other realm, like sort of guiding lost souls like Solomon Grundy and Hawk Girl and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. That's a pretty decent version of Dr. Fate.
Yeah.
But I think the one that maybe you get the most sense of like the greater thing between order and chaos is Young Justice. Where Dr. Fate, you really get the sense that Nabu takes over a host. You really get the balance between a character like Wotan or like Clarion the Witch Boy as agents of chaos versus Dr. Fate as a Lord of Order.
Okay.
Like that's the show that I think does the best job of setting up those sort of bigger concepts. There are cool versions of Dr. Fate, but that is the show that really goes into like, no, there are forces at work, and these are their soldiers, essentially.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, that first season of Young Justice, there's an episode with the Injustice gang that includes Wotan, who is an agent of chaos.
Yeah.
Like literally an agent of chaos. And it's where, like Zatanna puts on the helmet of fate, becomes Dr. Fate for a bit, and then the only way they can convince Nabu to release her is if her father becomes Dr. Fate permanently.
Wow.
So Giovanni Zatara in that show sacrifices himself to become Dr. Fate to save her.
Jeez.
I mean, great show.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Young Justice is a good show. But I think that's probably the best version of Order and Chaos outside of the comics.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Let's leave Instagram and head on to email.
Check the email.
Email. I don't know. Still on those pain meds, baby.
Are you actually?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I'm tapering out though. I only took like 10 today. No. Anyways, let's go to the email from Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Chris. Who asks, have any of the villains ever had the thought that Batman could be allergic to peanuts? I mean, peanut allergies are very common these days, so it's possible. Peanut allergies affect an estimated 1.2% of the overall U.S. population and about 2.5% of the pediatric population. They are a most common food allergy in children, affecting about 25% of those with a food allergy, and are a leading cause of allergy-related death in children. Not like we've seen Batman eat a Snickers or a Reese's Pieces, right? Easy kill.
I mean, just given the stats presented,
it makes it sound like that's what happens to all these Robins.
Well, I was gonna say the emphasis on the pediatric allergies is like that's maybe more of a way to take out Robin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
fucking Robin got a little snippy. Time to bring out the PB&J.
Yeah, why don't you go take on the Peanut? Yeah.
No, how about you go get this sidekick, Cracker Jack? Yeah, but what's the villain's name? Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Robin, why don't you go face Mr. Legume? Let's just see what happens. I think you can handle this one.
Yeah, that's right. Just go in mouth open. Same way that we do in the back end.
You fucking beat me to it. You know what's funny is that in a campier version of Batman. Like, if
That's
peanut
totally
allergies were a thing in the 60s, you bet your ass there would be a fucking peanut allergy themed villain on that show. They had fucking Egghead, Vincent Price, as a guy with an egg-shaped head, obsessed with eggs, using egg puns. You bet your ass if peanut allergies were like a crazy thing back then, that they would have had a peanut villain.
I'm honestly surprised that Martian Manhunter isn't like weakened by them.
Yeah. What are my weaknesses? Fire. Peanuts.
Oh my God, stay away from that roastery.
Air.
Roasted peanuts. Oh no. Two things at one.
Maria! That's really funny. Yeah. I mean, you're right. If anyone is weak against peanuts, it's Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the idea. It's like, yeah, but when could ever fire and peanuts come together? Oh no, not a battle at the roastery.
You sick son of a bitch. That's how they kill him in Final Crisis.
Yeah,
they just give him a bunch of roasted peanuts. The smoky flavor.
How can I ever defeat him? I'll have to go get these hordes of 50-year-old men on Lazy Boys. It's the only way. They'll be able to help me.
What?
Because nobody likes roasted peanuts more than 50-year-old men and Lazy Boys.
We're digging deep now.
Oh, yeah.
To my knowledge, sort of expanding on this, Batman has no allergies. I can't think of an issue that I've read where it's come up. Like,
except for he's allergic to commitment.
Except he's not, because guess who knocked up the cat?
Who told you about that?
Woman. Oh, sorry, Catwoman.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was joking, so it's fine.
Oh Jesus,
the children. Oh my God, kill them.
No, Batman. Even commitment, he's gaining a tolerance for. But as far as I know, Batman doesn't have allergies. I think if you were a villain and the only thing you had going, if you were like Condiment King and you were like, no one's allergic to ketchup, the only thing you could have going for you is like a bowl of salted nuts, and you'd be like, there's a 2.5% chance that Robin will die if I do this, and you just go for it that way.
Yeah,
I think that's your best bet. That's a good question.
All right, let's leave email and head on over to Reddit.
Where everyone's nice and no one's ever mean.
The first question comes from Never Sit Down, Iron Joker
33.
That's right. Who asks, if you could choose some heroes to carry some of the rings, what heroes would get them and what color would they wield? What rings would be the worst for each hero to get? Now, I know when I first asked that question, you were thinking about Lord of the Rings.
I actually was.
I know you were.
I was like, well, I guess someone could have the Ring of Adamant. Like, who would Círdan the Shipwright trust with the Ring of Fire? If not Gandalf.
I knew, but that would be your first thought.
Who gets Narya? I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about a lantern, right?
Yes.
Let's pick some characters that we don't normally pick. Let's move away from top level characters.
Yeah.
Let's think of some random characters. Which ones they might have. I think I would want to see maybe like Metamorpho with the Star Sapphire ring. Metamorpho, the Element Man. It's Rex Mason. And he becomes this sort of monster. He can never just like assume like a normal human form, look like us anymore.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's a monster. He sort of has this Frankenstein complex a little bit, but Sapphire Stag is his love, and they always have this great sort of relationship, and he always keeps coming back to that. So I think giving him the love ring would be interesting. I think it'd be cool to see Metamorpho learn to love himself and use his love of and for Sapphire Stag to empower him.
Yeah,
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. I want to see Danny the Street.
All right.
Get the Blue Lantern ring.
Oh, Hope. Yeah. I mean, certainly. I mean, definitely the way they portray him in the show and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think Danny the Street with a Hope ring. Yeah, definitely. Now, where does the ring sit? Sometimes when they talk about Mogo having a ring, the ring is like sitting on the branch of a tree, like on the planet. So what do you think for Danny? Where do you think the ring could live?
I feel like it could go onto like a lamp post potentially. It could I think that's where it would go, on a lamp post.
So,
or like a tree. Yeah, it could be on a tree on the street. Yeah.
I think it would be like in a jewelry shop.
Oh, that's cute.
On one of
that's
those
cute.
Like, finger things, but it's like in the back so you can't get at it.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got Metamorpho, Danny the Street. I love this crazy like New Guardian sort of chord we're going for.
Yeah.
Let's think of another character. I want to see. Oh shit, this is tough. I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to like dig like real.
I know that's what I'm trying to think too.
Here. I want to see. I want to see Captain Carrot with the green ring.
Oh,
yeah. I want Rodney Rabbit to come over from Earth 26. I want him to get the green ring and have his cosmic carrot. And I want Captain Carrot to be the Green Lantern.
Oh,
yeah. All of his like super determination and will and everything like that. I think that's what I want. Yeah.
He's getting which color? Sorry,
green.
He's getting green.
Yeah.
Apocalypse.
You mean like the X-Men villain?
Oh no, sorry. Sorry, I mean Orion.
Oh, Orion, yeah.
Orion.
The son of Darkseid, raised by Highfather, soldier god of New Genesis.
Yeah, gets the yellow ring.
Yeah, I could see him getting yellow or red. I think.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of going between the two.
Yeah, either of those works. I think. That's a good one for Orion. Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm going to pick. What? So what do we have left? We haven't done. You said yellow, so we still have rage, greed, and compassion. Indigo. So we've got those three left.
Yeah.
We may have. Oh no, we definitely said that one before. Okay, here's a slightly weird one.
Okay.
And I know he's not low tier, but he's sort of not one I was thinking of. I think the Riddler gets an orange ring.
Really?
Because he's like covetous of knowledge. It's different from Lex. Lex wants power. The Riddler, I think, has a specific kind of greed that I think would maybe attract an orange ring.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that he wants to run Gotham or what. He just wants everyone to have to come to him. He knows it all. He's the master. He's the puppeteer. He's the everything. I think he wants that. And I think there's a version of that where you can make the argument that an orange ring would find him. I think you give that to the Riddler.
Yeah, I can get that. Who do we have left?
So we got rage and compassion left.
I think Question gets rage.
Oh, the Question. Yeah. Like the original one, Vic Sage or Renee Montoya?
Renee Montoya.
Ooh. Montoya with the rage one.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
He's got a lot of like under...
A lot of just beating people with their fists.
Yeah. I feel like he's like built off of rage, right? Like, I mean...
Yeah, I could see her being like that. Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Like she's...
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't like that one. It's that I'm trying to think of the compassion one at the same time, and I haven't gotten there yet.
Barbara Gordon?
I mean, yeah, you can certainly make the argument for it. Yeah. I mean, just anyone that has like a level of empathy could qualify for the Indigo one. But you can also think of the Indigo the way that core was made, which is you take people without empathy, you put them in that core and force them to atone for their crimes and feel empathy.
What's his fucking Plastic Man?
Oh, Plastic Man?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Eel O'Brien.
No, the other one, the Elongated Man. Sorry,
I mean, Elongated Man is certainly he's empathetic. You could definitely like,
but also started out not that way. I think like if you look at the show, I think
I know what you're saying. Yeah, Elongated Man definitely in the same the way that like Ray Palmer when he became the Indigo. Like I think Elongated Man would qualify totally. I think then you could also like go the totally other way. Go like, who is someone devoid of empathy? You can pick like a Victor Zsasz or something like that, and force them then to
fucking Victor Zsasz
into that position where they must feel empathy.
Do you imagine Victor Zsasz? Jesus.
Yeah. Interesting. Or Reverse Flash. You've put him in there like as a prison. Be like, this is what you've done to bury to the timeline to
like the fucking like Red Skull and the
kind of. You could do it like that way exactly. Yeah, I think that would be neat. Yeah, good question.
Yeah, it's good. I like that. All right, last question comes from the other doctor. It's Doctor Who. Who asks, what do you think is at the heart of some of comic fandom's more possessive feelings toward characters? Obviously, not every fan is this way, but comics do seem to have a larger contingent of the audience that claims to hold on to a very particular version or ideal of individual characters, and who react negatively to even slight changes or out-of-character moments. Other pop culture mediums deal with this too, but is there something unique in the superhero genre that drives this?
Yeah, I obviously don't have an answer for that, but I think this does exist in everything. It exists in Trek. It exists in sports. It exists in...
I think a lot... I can't speak for... I think for sports it's a different thing, but I think for a lot of like nerd fandom, it comes from often a group of people who are sort of segmented from society. So when they find a thing that sort of connects them and makes them feel like they enjoy something and things like that, it becomes their thing. Speaking as someone who felt that way and sort of went to these things because of those reasons, I think that you take a person who's sort of feeling segmented from society, and then you give them something to hold on to. When you change that thing, you're taking away. It feels to them that you're taking away that thing that sort of gives them joy.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the thing at the root of it.
Yeah, and then you add on to that like potential social anxieties. You tack on like not having the proper sort of coping mechanisms, and you get sort of the negative reactions from those. I think it's more due to like those types of things than like bad people.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, I think there's also a thing too where when you spend a lot of time with a set of characters or with the universe or whatever you're into, I think there's the idea that you know so much about it, or you feel you know so much about it, that you know what feels right or doesn't feel right. And intuitively, that is probably true. However, I think people confuse that with the craft of storytelling. And what those people don't have is the craft of storytelling or the understanding of the business. So then when something happens, they go, that's not what I would have done. It's like, yeah, but nobody fucking asked you. Like, just because you've been reading for 30 years doesn't mean we're making this for you. There's someone here with like storytelling craft that wants to try something. And they're not, just because it's not what you would have done doesn't mean it's not in character or not a direction for the character. But I think that's maybe partly too where some of that like quote unquote the possessiveness or the feeling betrayed comes from, is that when you spend enough time with it, you develop your headcanon, right? Like I've said things on this podcast that are not in a comic anywhere. I just believe them to be true.
Yeah, based on connecting dots.
So if someone wrote something that went against that, I mean, I don't care. I go, okay, that's the answer. Some people, though, would go like, no, I've spent 20 years thinking this. What the fuck do you mean? Well, how could you not also think the thing I think? Have you not been reading this?
But I think it's even slightly deeper than that, because I think what you're doing is when you're going against what someone thinks is the sort of direction it needs to go, you're devaluing their time to become an expert in something, because basically they're taking all of that time to go, I understand this character. I know what decisions they make. And then when they don't make that decision, you're now then saying what you know is less valuable now because we can just do whatever the fuck you want. So what you know is it wasn't worth the amount of time getting into it.
Yeah, I mean, that might be their perspective on it, but of course that's false.
Yeah, without a doubt. But I feel like that's the mindset. I think it's.
Yeah, I mean, there might be an element of that too. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, listen, we've gone through all of this a lot, and it is in everything.
Yeah.
It's not only comics. It's certainly not only superhero comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, hate is going to hate, right? You can't, if someone feels that way, it's unlikely they are looking for someone to explain why they shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's you know what I mean? Like,
motherfuckers need some compassion.
If you are, I feel that way too sometimes. I'm not immune to it. I spend a lot of time with these characters. I've read things, and there are some things that are just not in character.
Yeah.
Like, objectively. That is how character works, especially if they've been around for 40 years. You got enough documented evidence to basically build a personality profile and say, like, that doesn't really feel right. So that's not to say that anything that happens in the comic, you just have to roll over and take. I mean, you do have to roll over and take it. You're not writing it. You can decide not to read it, but then that's your loss.
Yeah.
However, there are sometimes cases where things go off the rails and you could rightfully feel betrayed or whatever. The problem is then when you take that, or someone says, but I actually really liked that. And you go, well, then you suck. You're a bad fan. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that, right? Someone is going to like everything that's, like, not everything, but each thing that is out there in the world, someone likes it.
Yeah.
That goes for weird, shitty 90s stuff, or weird, shitty now stuff, or stuff from the
sexist, racist shit.
That Aquaman issue that we read, someone out there fucking loves that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's their favorite issue.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, I mean, you can personally feel, however,
someone wrote it, right?
Because that's part of the emotional investment. They want you to care about these characters. That also means you could feel betrayed by what they do or what happens to them. But where it crosses the line into being shitty is when you tell other people that the way they feel about it is just wrong.
Yeah.
You can point out, say, like, I don't think this is in character because, but you can't tell them not to like it.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
And
that's not the point.
A lesson that I learned a long time ago, and I think I've talked about it on the podcast, but it's a thing that's always helped me when reboots happen or they bring shows back or whatever it is. They're never deleting the thing that existed. Yeah. They're not taking away your memory of that thing. So you always have that thing. Yeah. You can always go back to that thing. You can always watch or read or play that thing.
Exactly.
So if someone's adding to the universe by putting something new into it, you can either enjoy it, you can either consume it, or you can not. But at the end of the day, it doesn't take away from that thing.
And even if it's a reboot, like, maybe fine in continuity, it is deleting the thing, but it's not in real life. Yeah. You could just go back to the other continuity. You can just do it. It's fine.
You can just skip the Pipple
it's totally
song.
Fine. Oh.
Hashtag put down the dog. You can just skip that scene.
But yeah, I mean, so I think the short answer is that it's not a bad thing to have strong feelings, positive or negative.
Yeah.
The only bad thing
is when you you put that onto other people.
Is harassing other people.
Yeah.
So as long as you're not doing that, it's totally fine to just hate what they did to Wally West or whatever. But if you tell someone that's like, I actually really like Wallace West, if you tell them that they're horrible and you hope they die, you're the bad person.
Yeah.
I think that's the only line there.
Guess what? There's a lot of other Green Lanterns out there. It doesn't matter that Kyle Rayner exists.
Well, yeah, exactly. I like Kyle. It's Guy Gardner.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Guy Gardner can go, fuck that bowl cut.
But you keep it to yourself.
But I keep it to myself. Yeah. I don't tell you that you're wrong for liking it. And definitely just one little tag on the end there.
Yeah.
If you have an opinion about something and you need to tweet it, fine, tweet it. Don't fucking tag the creators.
Yeah.
Don't be dicks. Like, they're working hard and no one is trying to make something bad.
No.
So fine. It's fine not to like it. It's fine to think it's bad. It's fine not to like a creator's work.
Yeah.
Don't tag them.
Yeah.
Tag them when it's good so that you can encourage them. Don't tag them when it's bad.
Please.
They will know by the silence.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to rub it in. Like,
that's a great one. All right. Well, that's it for this week. You know what time it is.
Fuck.
That's right. It's time for Dial Deck. Every week, we come up with a unique character, like they once did in the comics of old and now rebooted.
That's right.
Speaking of reboots.
Yeah.
It's like we were professionals. That's right. The Dial H for Hero Comics used to exist where readers would submit ideas for characters and they would put them into a comic. The idea would be that a character would go to a payphone, dial hero. I know that these are, for millennials, confusing concepts, but and at that moment they would become a randomly generated hero, or if they dialed in evil, maybe they'd become a villain for a temporary period of time.
I'm ready.
Good God. You know what it does to me when you say that like that?
I'm ready. So
okay,
we try and come up with one every week.
Yeah, that's right.
We've been doing it for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
So mine is called Stop Less.
What?
It's called Stop Less.
Oh, Staples.
No, Stop Less.
Oh, okay.
He's from Boston.
Oh.
And his power is to make any surface frictionless, so you can stop less. You're less good at stopping. So if you're running around, he needs you to, like, you stop less. He makes it frictionless. You run into a fucking wall over there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
You're trying to fucking park? You can't fucking park there. You're going to fucking slide the car past the parking lot. Right into fucking traffic. You get hit by a fucking car.
Be great.
Stop less.
Be great on the subway if you're trying to get to your destination.
Yeah, you can stop less.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a bunch of people can't get to work because you don't stop at their station.
That's not my problem.
You stop less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
He's definitely from Boston. You stop less.
Wow.
If not because I saw the word Staples.
Yeah, and thought stop less is a weird word. Wonder what that could mean. That's not what happened, is it?
Yeah.
No.
No.
My character's name is Plague Vendor.
Plague Vendor. I feel like the last couple of weeks you've had like fun names for your characters.
Well,
I liked Corpse Protector.
And
yeah, you've got Plague Vendor.
You really like Weinstein.
Wow. I wouldn't say really liked, but appreciated the pun.
Plague Vendor has the ability to take on and consume any sort of disease, but has to be succumbed to the disease that they have. But they can also disperse it to people as well.
Right.
So once they get rid of it, then it's not in them anymore, and they've given it to someone else.
Okay, so it's not just like I could give the flu to 5 people. It's I have to take on the flu and then give it to someone else, and now there's no more flu in me.
Yeah, yeah. Right. And they can't give it back, but you had to have held it for
because no takebacks, we all know.
Yeah, well, obviously. Yeah. So, Plague Vendor.
Sorry, but then they could pass it on to someone else?
No, the other person can't.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So, it's like you could hold on to like cancer or something like that, but it's going to spread quickly, so make sure you get rid of it quickly.
Now, is this only for like bacterial or like cellular things? Is it also viruses?
Yeah.
Is it like conditions?
Yeah. Any sort of like disease, any infection, any sort of like
any ailment, basically. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Athlete's foot.
Yeah. I mean, technically, yeah.
Yeah. Crotch rot.
Yeah. Oh. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of those.
Yeah. Yeah. That's 102.4. Crotch rot.
Bringing down all the hits from the 90s.
Oh, my Willie Phillip.
Crush Rod.
102.4.
That's right. This is the station.
We're playing all the greatest grunge.
It's Super Todd all day long.
Super Todd. Jake and Michael McDonald all work for rival horrible radio stations. 102.4 Crotch Rot. 103.7 The Chunk.
Come to Crotch Rot for all your crotch rot.
106.9 Hot Snakes.
Oh, my ass.
Do we do a spin-off scripted podcast about these radio stations?
That's 150 reviews.
150 reviews.
Yeah.
You finally get the radio saga. Yeah. So that we could just dub over Queen's Radio Gaga for the theme.
Yeah.
Radio Saga.
It's called Radio Wave Wars.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go. We both have a dial dog.
Hell yeah,
we did it.
But we would love it if you had a dial dog.
Yes, please.
All you have to do is reach out.
Sorry, we got one.
Oh,
that I wanted to read because it's big.
I mean, yeah, but you also thought it's normal, so
no, this is big.
Yeah, it's like my whole hand.
So this is from Pablo Acosta.
Oh,
he said, "Now for a dial doc, which has to be told in first person." And just a little side note on here: most of this is in second person.
Okay.
So, your mind is fuzzy. You can't remember things right away. It's like waking from a hangover. You're walking in a town you don't recognize. It's hot. You remember you're in Australia visiting family. Something happened and you had to help. You're a superhero? You look at your reflection in a store window. You look old, pale, and weather-beaten. You're hunched. You have a pair of jeans shoeless on your head. You are wearing the head of a sickly dog, and the rest of its hide draped down your back. You feel nervous around people who you see are staring at you. You walk out of town. You feel relaxed in the bush, and you remember you are a hero. You see yourself as big and mighty, so powerful you can slap Darkseid around. You just need your power source. Yes, that's it, your power source. But what is it? A large shadow falls on you and you look up. There's a huge dark form blotting out the sun. Is it a ship or a creature? You can't tell, but that doesn't matter. You remember the thing attacked another town and you dialed hero and then you became old. But your power source will change that. You can sense it. Back in town you run. You look into the full-length mirror. You've powered up. You're muscled, skin, a healthy tan glow. The dog head now looks fierce and the hide is bonded to your back. Arms and legs. Your chest is now red painted. You can try your senses. You can smell, see it, hear far. People are panicking. But why is this woman you've just noticed hitting you with a broom and telling you to get out? Never mind. There's an emergency. You leap through the wall and find yourself back out in that bush. You turn around and leap to the danger. Look, leaping out of the bush. It's a kanga. No, it's an emu. Nah, mate. Emus can't leap that high. It's a help. The dingo ate my baby. Yes, it's all back. I'm Australia's most powerful hero. I am the dingo. And I'm here to help. Thing is half a K up. I'll leap it easy. And now that I found my power source, I'll beat it easy. But if I don't, I'll just go for a recharge. Babies, yum.
Holy shit. I feel accosted by that.
Yes, thank you for Pablo accosting us with your dial doc submission. I had to share that one.
That's incredible.
Too much work put into that.
That's
for me
incredible.
Not to share it.
That's more work than we put on any of these podcasts put together.
Yeah, exactly. So
Good God.
Thank you for that.
That's amazing. That was incredible. So if you want to be like Mr. Acosta,
that's right.
All you have to do is send us your dial doc using the hashtag dial doc and come up with a hero. Maybe it's a villain, or you can send us a question for next week.
Yeah, tentatively.
Yeah.
We're
things are changing day to day here.
The theme that has been voted on by the Golden Age subscribers is the fourth world.
Yes.
So tentatively, that is going to be our theme for next week. We're recording that one a little bit early, so try and get your questions in before the weekend.
Yes.
But yeah, we're talking about the fourth world. Anything to do with New Genesis or Apocalypse, the Forever People, the Source, anything like that.
So do so through our various social media platforms as our Facebook,
Dr. DC Podcast,
our Twitter,
at Dr. DC,
Instagram,
Dr. DC Podcast,
email,
drdcpodcast@gmail.com,
subreddit,
r/Dr_DC.
And of course, the doc phone is always open.
208-917-3238.
208-917-DCEU. Also, not only can you talk to us online, but you can also buy our merch.
Buy our merch.
On our website.
drdcpodcast.com or .ca.
And of course, like you heard at the beginning of this episode, we like those reviews. Give us 5 stars.
Yeah.
On iTunes would be great, but we're taking them everywhere.
Facebook, Podbean.
Yeah, dude.
Wherever you can leave them. Leave us a 5-star review.
But if it's not on iTunes, make sure that you send it to us because we don't always see them.
Yes, exactly. Make sure you let us know.
Yeah.
And when we get to 100, we will release that mini-series Lord of the Rings
That's
podcast.
Right. Yeah. Don't worry about doubling up on those reviews, babies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we don't care.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yes. Yeah. Like plague vendors, spread those reviews all throughout the internet.
Yeah, double review us. DR us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us that
DP those DRs.
Jesus Christ. And don't forget, of course, our Patreon. It's patreon.com/DrDC. There are 2 tiers, a $5 tier, the Silver Age, where you get the full bonus episode every week. It's called the Double Dose. We geek out about stuff DC and non-DC. And then at the Golden Age, just $2 more. It's $7 a month. You obviously get that stuff. And then you also get the Prescribed Reading. It's a weekly video episode about a comic I'm currently reading. You get to vote on episode themes. You get to help us decide reading assignments. You get a merch discount, all sorts of fun stuff. And that money helps us do new, cooler things. Like we want to do another video episode. Yeah. We want to do some cool stuff. And that Patreon helps support those sort of fun extra things that we do.
And don't confuse yourself. Those tiers are different than the ones that Bill gives me.
Jeez.
That's it for this week.
I mean, good callback, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. They don't call him Dirty Bill for nothing. Ciao, ciao.
Adios.
They always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure. They are men of...
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.